Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you've ever heard of. Every human being who ever was lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and our suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. The earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors so that, in glory and triumph, they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privilege and position in the universe, are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all the vastness, there is no hint that help will come elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The Earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, Earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Carl Sagan, Pale Blue Dot, 1994. Hello authors, future authors, book enthusiasts, and anybody who might have stumbled upon this channel. My name is M.A. Kennedy. That's M.A. Kennedy. I am a self-published author, and my premier historical fiction novel, The Rolling Pin, is available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. It is the second edition, which I have republished, and I have promised I will do a video on why I did that, what I did wrong, and things you can do to improve. But it is up on the website. If you haven't bought it yet, please do so. It would mean the world to me. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified whenever I post. This week is part of my Influential Authors But Make It Fashion series. I decided to feature 5 influential authors in which I would try and emulate their style in a modern and feminine way. And today my author is Carl Sagan. He is not someone that you would typically think of when you think of authors, as he was an astrophysicist and a college professor and a TV presenter. However, he of course wrote many academic papers, many novels. Carl Sagan not only wrote nonfiction, he did write some fiction as well. I actually have not read his fiction novels, but I highly recommend his nonfiction, Cosmos and A Pale Blue Dot. If you are into science fiction, Contact might be a good choice for you. But without further ado, let's emulate my favorite astrophysicist. you'll notice my background is a little different today. I just wanted to film here because it's September, but it's already starting to feel chilly, so I put out my Halloween decorations. Yeah. Anyway, my look. So, Carl Sagan is very simple. He was born in 1934, so many of the pictures of him are very either 70s style or 80s style or early 90s style. He passed away in 1996. One of the most famous photos, and the one I chose to emulate, is this one, because doesn't he look just so darn cute? I ordered this red jumper from a UK vintage seller. It has no tags. I don't know if it's homemade or if it was bought or what, or I think it's made out of, it's either cotton or polyester, I can't tell. But I decided to go with a 70s vintage skirt to match the jumper. As the photo, just shows him in slacks, and I wanted to give it a little feminine touch, but I thought if Carl Sagan was a woman, he would probably have worn something like that, being that's the period of time a lot of the pictures were from the 70s, 80s, 90s, things like that. So very easy to put together, but as always with the series, I'm not trying to cosplay the author. I just put together looks that are inspired by them. And I think this is pretty fun because it's something anybody can do and you don't have to spend a lot of money doing it. Every one of my items have either been vintage or are from sustainable fashion brands or things that have been in my closet for at least 10 years. So I haven't gone out of my way to spend a whole bunch of money putting this series together. To give you some background on Carl Sagan for my Gen Z people and probably some millennials, I'm a little bit of an old soul. Carl Sagan passed away when I was very young, so I never actually saw the original Cosmos series until I was an adult. And I had already watched the new Cosmos series and I wanted to know what the original was, and then I devoured his books, and so my obsession with Carl Sagan is pretty recent. I'm not going to lie and say that my whole life I have loved this author. No, it's been in the last, I would say 8 years probably, that I have really been enamored with Carl Sagan. He was an American astronomer, planetary scientist, cosmologist. I really want to say cosmetologist, but that is not the same thing at all. And an astrophysicist. And an astrobiologist. I think I've gotten all of his titles. He was an impressive guy. He helped bring planetary science into the American home. He made it interesting and put it in a way that people could understand so that they wanted to learn more about what was happening on our own planet, beyond our planet, and he also contributed to the research of extraterrestrial life. Not aliens in the way we would think, but I do think that he was searching for something out there. Sagan assembled the first physical message sent to outer space so that if there was life out there, maybe it would reach them. He was initially an associate professor at Harvard and then moved to Cornell. If you are familiar with the new Cosmos series, you might know that Neil deGrasse Tyson looked up to and admired Carl Sagan immensely. And if you are familiar with Neil deGrasse Tyson's writing, you will definitely see influence from Carl Sagan in the types of language he uses, in his descriptions, in the way that he is also very poetic in describing science. I don't want to say that he copied him, but he emulates him quite intensely, if I can say so. That's it for my Carl Sagan segment, but before I finish, I of course want to give you a little exercise. I would like you to get inspired by science to write. Anything. It doesn't have to be outer space like Carl Sagan, but you could look at a biology review, you could look at National Geographic, look at the way that these scientists write their articles, or if it's a scientific journalist, and maybe try and put a little bit of that into your writing. You will actually be really surprised at how much bigger your vocabulary can be from reading nonfiction. and especially from authors who transcend both worlds, who can write fiction and nonfiction because they're able to write in a way that sounds pleasing. That's the way you want to write your fiction novel. My last influential author is coming up, and then it will be the end of this series. But I would really love to know if you liked it. No one ever tells me if they like this series or not, if they'd like me to do something like this again. So please comment down below. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. And as always, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified whenever I post. I'm going to be releasing 2 videos back to back. And one of them is just a short little video to introduce you to my new kitten. So watch this video or don't watch this video. Well, I guess if you made it this far, you did watch this video. So if you are a cat lover like me, then stay tuned and be on the lookout for my kitten video. I love you guys. Thank you. Bye.